streets of Laredo as I walked out in Laredo one day. I spied a young cowboy all wrapped in white linen, all wrapped in white linen and cold as the clay. Hey, here's Johnny Boy and Jason and Wolverine and Toyne and Member Berries. I am Cool Boy, Cody, Anbu, Code, and Cody G, Max Wolf, Kendis, Krusty Bomb, Connor, CDV. Yeah, it's it's getting hard. It's getting kind of hard to ignore the possibility. Well, no, the reality that for whatever reason, Susan just really doesn't want us on YouTube. On YouTube. For those of you who, oh, I love that song, Madman. For those of you who don't know yet, I posted earlier, or I went to post a reaction to Meat Canyon's latest video. The, yeah, well, why is the title gone right out of my head immediately? Space Jam Season. Duh. And as soon as I post it, it gets taken down. We're given a warning. A further infraction will result in a strike, and you won't be able to upload or live stream or anything. On a video where the original video is still up, as it should be, has well over 3 million views. There's a litany of reactions to it already all over YouTube, and our channel gets a strike for it. So somebody explain to me how that's possible outside of YouTube having set lists for its algorithm. In other words, this is a channel that we look for issues with type thing. It has to be, right? Yeah, Joshua says less than 6 minutes being up. What other case could there be? They have to be, again. I've gotten to it, and I was one of the last remaining holdouts, as I've told you guys before. You know, I was always willing to say, okay, with a system that takes in the type of massive amounts of information that YouTube does, there's going to be glitches here and there, and I gave them for the longest time the benefit of the doubt. And okay, you know, there's going to be problems along the way, but they're trying. Come on, this has gotten to be absolute fucking bullshit now. There's no way you can tell me that there isn't specific, that basically you aren't on, to quote, oh, what's the movie I want? Oh God, what's Animal House. There's no way I can believe that we are not on double secret probation. We have to be, because it's the same type of content that's all over YouTube. And again, the original's up there. And as I wrote in the Twitter post, so if you're saying that my posting of this video, of this reaction video, constitutes content that is intentionally sexually erotic, it's got to be because of my face, right? That's the only difference between mine and the others that are up, is this one stars my face, which you kind of can't blame them for that. Yeah, Chrome, not only is Meat Canyon's video still up, but if you run a search on Space Jam Season reactions, you'll see there's lots of reactions to it still up as well. It's just, it's gotten over the top. There has to be specific lists. There has to be specific parameters put into YouTube's algorithm where they're targeting certain channels. And again, I can tell you, nobody false flagged it, HD. This came from YouTube. This came from YouTube directly. Well, your face does elicit responses of a certain nature, Lemsat says. Yeah, it's gotten so beyond frustrating. It's just, I mean, I just went ahead and I put the video up at the Goosh. So, I mean, if you are a member over there, you can go watch it if you want to. I'm hoping it'll get put back up. I have no faith in that. I filed the counter claim, the appeal. stating just what I said here. How is this even possible? How can you determine this is one type of content when I present it and not that type of content when numerous other people present it? The thing is, Google owns YouTube. Google feels that they are omnipotent. You can't get to them. They've got a team of lawyers. We don't. They will do whatever they want, whenever they want, because they don't have an overseer. They just don't. And that's the way it is now. Jack says, I'm sorry I wasn't listening. Like YouTube, I was lost in your eyes. It's got to be what it is. It has to be, Jack. That's the only difference between my video and the other videos that are reactions to that is my face. So YouTube is basically saying there's no way to expect a normal person not to be sexually excited upon seeing all this. If there's another explanation, I'd like to know what it is. Francis says there's a YouTuber couple that gets targeted as well. MXR Mods. It's all manually cleaned videos. They already make their videos manually reviewed so they can post it without problem. I just, again, there's definitely something that goes on within YouTube itself and by extension YouTube's algorithm. And I told you guys, I saw whatever we did that pissed in Susan's cornflakes, you could see exactly when it happened. Because there was a time the channel was going along at certain levels, certain amount of recommendations, so on and so forth. It was a steady stream. You'd always, like most YouTube channels, you'd build up a little bit month by month, but basically steady. Then one day, not within the course of a month or anything, one day it went whoom, and it got cut well over in half what we would normally get for having our videos recommended, notifications going out, so on and so forth. And it's stayed down there ever since, and that's well over a year ago now. So, again, I'm thinking that, and I never would have thought this prior, but I can't come up with any other conclusion, that somebody or something at YouTube had their little fifis hurt so bad by something I said or did on here. Now, if that were the case and they told me what it was, I still wouldn't take it back because fuck you, you pussy. I'm still not going to take it back. But that's got to be what happened, no? I would think. They despise nonconformity. Yes, Stormstar. It's like a sci-fi movie. One of us. One of us. You will fall in line and do what you're told. They don't give you any reasoning. They just give you the stock. They tell you why it was removed as a community guideline strike. Let me see. If I can still find it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can... it's got to be on my dashboard here. The policy that we violated is nudity and sexual content. But when I actually got the information on why it was taken down, it takes it a step further and says basically that your video was expressing content designed to be sexually provocative, which has to be my face. Because again, that's the only thing that's different between my video and all the other reaction videos, which of course have been posted and are going along fine. YouTube is really starting to dick around with everyone at this point. Oh, Jeb, it's and I still say we know why. It's because Google could give two shits less about YouTube itself. Google could not give a fuck less about at-home creators. Google bought YouTube to try and create their own TV network. It didn't work. They tried a bunch of different things. YouTube Red, all these things that they started trying to do, making their own shows, Scare PewDiePie or whatever it was, all those shows they made. They wanted to create a TV network with original content. At every turn, YouTube was thwarted because people like us, who are YouTube's backbone, who are YouTube's viewers, don't want that. We come here because, remember, YouTube, broadcast yourself. We want to watch regular people making videos about whatever our interests may be. So frustrated by that, YouTube has now come up with YouTube TV, when they made their streaming service, when they tied it in name to YouTube, they sentenced us to virtual death, because now there's no way Google will relinquish YouTube as a property, because it's tied in name to YouTube TV, which is their baby. So I just wish they would have named it anything except associating it with YouTube, because now we're stuck with them. Lud says, wait, so you can get strikes now because somebody considers content designed to be sexually provocative. Isn't something like that by its very nature completely subjective? 100%. This shit blows my mind. 100% subjective. Absolutely it is. You are right. And I think that's how YouTube likes it. And again, I'm sure a lot of the things that YouTube does, if somebody were to take them to task, if an uploader, if a YouTuber was to, just something like this, was to sue them over it, you would win, but you wouldn't get anything for it. Basically, a court in this case would say, well, you know, especially once they've already decimated your channel like they've done mine, they say, you know, you're only talking a few bucks difference here for the time they took it down, so YouTube will have to pay those few bucks, and hey, don't you do that anymore. That's all you would win. So YouTube knows, again, they're above the law, they're omnipotent. That's how Google feels. Google is, for a company who's, wasn't their initial tagline, don't be evil? They become the most evil, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they're ridiculous. They're absolutely over the top with the way they go about things. And the fact that they absorbed a thriving system like YouTube and have just decimated it. Chrome says, also, YouTube allows e-thoughts and cam girls for gaming streams. They're a lot more provocative. Yeah. And again, as Lud pointed out, it's all entirely subjective. So that's how they get by with it. I'm during the course of the stream, I'll keep checking just to make sure. I love to see a response come in. Still nothing. A response come in while we're streaming. Where the hell's that link? There it is. On what their take was. Oh, here's that. Let me read the email. Hi, Spaz Boys Comedy. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our sex and nudity policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube. We know that this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. Oh, it's a safe place if anybody else does it, just not if we do it. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal, and we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. How your content violated the policy. Pornographic or sexually explicit content that is meant to be sexually gratifying. Their quote, the content that is meant to be sexually gratifying is not allowed on YouTube. Review educational, documentary, artistic, and scientific content on a case-by-case basis. Limited exceptions are made for content with sufficient and appropriate context where the purpose of posting is clear. Well, I would say satire is very obvious contextually here. And really, when you think about Meat's videos, how is this one any worse than any of the other things that he's posted? It's just entirely random. It's completely random. Rover says that email has the tone of a Burger King parking lot. Karen agreed. Chrome says, ironic, given YouTube has a thriving Mac community on the service, but they don't really do much about it. No, it's entirely subjective what they want. Listen, if they think in any way you might be, or what you believe, what you think, what you do might be within the good graces of the PC mobs, then YouTube will never take an action against you. Lud says, I mean, your face is pretty sexually gratifying to me, and YouTube removing even a single piece of video material containing it offends me. But that's got to be it, Lud. That's what in the tweet, and Team YouTube won't. I reached out to Team YouTube, explained to them, called them out on what was going on. You won't get a response because Team YouTube only responds to things like, my YouTube TV is acting funny and I can't get this channel. Well, let's see. Well, jumping in here. That's what they always put, jumping in here. Let's see what we can do to rectify this. When you have something where it's like, hey, your system is entirely broken and here's proof, that they're like, yeah, we're not touching that. We're not going to be involved in that type of shit at all. It's almost, I mean, it's gotten almost difficult for me not to. It's almost to where I just want to start doing live streams, posting videos, talking about every controversial subject or topic out there, including YouTube and Google, and waiting for them to eliminate my channel and suing them for it. Because one of the things I've noticed, we have, you guys will agree here in the stream, I'm sure, we have a lot of really great conversations around topics of the day, and we have a lot of great debates in here regarding things of that nature. I'm starting to think that that might be the way to go with the channel altogether. We'll talk about everything that makes YouTube uneasy. And I will take the perspective on all these things that make YouTube uneasy. That is my own perspective, which, of course, with them being as insanely politically correct as they are, is always going to fly in the face of what they believe and see what the fallout would be. Jack Queen says they don't stick to their own rules, basically. Leads to people making individual decisions and therefore subjective mistakes, and thus here we are, 100%. 100%. You might say master debates, Jack says. Lucas says, YouTube is like that pet that never learns. Don't try and eat things that aren't food or a toy. Francis the Potato says, YouTube review claim system is utterly flawed. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The rules are at the very least vague, if not worse. Copyright strikes also need little to no backing. Yeah, no, I do believe that's the vagueness in most of their guidelines is not by accident. They want to leave themselves plausible deniability when challenged on anything. And the best way to do that is leave things vague. They're not stupid in that regard. Just like that, sexually gratifying to who? And who determines what is posted to be sexually gratifying? With all the with all the different fetishes there are out there, you could make a case for pretty much anything. I mean, I've heard about this pornography stuff on the internet, and from what I've heard, you can see most anything on there. People doing all kinds of wild, insane types of things. So I'm thinking you could make a sexually gratifying case for pretty much anything, right? Or anybody. Yeah, that's true. David says, about sexual content, you can find adult movies and even rape scenes from films on YouTube, but they don't bat an eye. Yeah, there is no doubt. I mean, this is proving beyond any reasonable doubt that YouTube has, for lack of a better term, hit lists. And their bot, their AI, is clearly given information that certain channels will be held to different standards than others, or at least suspect more so than others. Chrome says, oh, I'll just say flat out, don't expect much from YouTube if you lawyer up. I watch a YouTuber whose channel was strike down. He lawyered up and YouTube ignored his lawyer, didn't return his messages. No, you would have, again, that doesn't surprise me at all, Chrome. That's like I say, YouTube feels they're omnipotent. You would have to be willing to take them to court, because once you can open the court case, then they can't ignore you anymore. They have to show up. But that you would have to go all the way. Let's see. Niall says, what would happen if the big millionaire YouTubers took them to court? It'd be interesting to see that it would depend on what they took them to court for specifically. But I'm thinking because we had talked about this in the past, and we're already well into 2021. I'm thinking of reviving the whole Curtis 2024. I'm going to get enough of you guys on board to spread the word. We're going to vote me in as president, and then we'll see who's got the leverage. Because all the social media platforms wouldn't like it if I was making the rules. And not because I'd come after them. It's because they would have to, by law, they would have to do things evenly and fairly amongst everyone. Maybe it'd be enough of a hassle that YouTube would or Google would finally just let go of YouTube. Lud says, to be honest, hearing about how disconnected YouTube's different branches are, the piss poor communication between them and the directors, I bet if you called them out in real life, they genuinely wouldn't know about these issues. I think that's entirely possible, Lud. It's very possible. But just as you outlined, that's to their detriment. The fact that they would genuinely not know wouldn't be a defense on their behalf. It would be an indictment. Because, if you want to operate this company, provide this service, and those at the top are completely detached from how this service is being handled and branded, then that's an indictment of them. Josh says, Onision spammed the DMCA strike feature against other YouTubers for years, and YouTube ignored it until they absolutely had to do something about it. Yeah, and you still have people just spamming the DMCA, their system. That, I will say, for the most part, had tried, and we're trying for some time to put in a decent system around the whole copyright claims thing. But now you can even see where they're dropping off on that. They're like, nah. Rosa says, hello, Williams. It seems your content has been removed and your channel terminated because your channel uses the name of WWE star Curtis Candy, famous, which does not belong to you. Thanks. Kaiser says, hit list. Get Suzaku. You just made my shit list. Yeah. Brandon says, some mid-sized YouTubers make second channels to avoid strikes for certain content. They usually don't go after 10K sub-channels or less than a million. Or under 10K or more than a million. Yeah, the ones in the middle do seem to get more attention. But even if that were the case, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play that game. Because anything I post, I feel, by their own terms of service, I can post. So I'm not making a second channel. But however, even if I did, I wouldn't have put this on a second channel. Who would have thought, when you see that the video I reacted to is still up and getting millions of views, and that there are a litany of other reactions already out there, I would have no reason to believe there would be an issue with this one. So even if I had a second channel, it wouldn't be one I would think to place there. Barry says, Curtis 2024 for Afghanistan or USA, whichever you like. Yeah. It's just striking the horse face, Cody says. Yeah, Sony does also love to abuse copyright. Yeah, they do, HD. At least when the Japanese companies do it, actually, though, that's true because Sony's a Japanese company. And you have to remember, all those Japanese companies, because we deal with it with the anime stuff, they hate America's copyright laws. They don't like the concept of free use at all. Oh, I'm sorry, free use. Of fair use at all. So that's a given. They just despise it from the get-go. Cody says, how about we take over Hawaii and make it Afghanistan? Yeah, if we're going to get our own place, might as well be Hawaii. Code says, yeah, Curtis /Golden for 2024. Listen, if Curtis 2024 comes back, all I need you guys to do is get me to a debate stage. Because I will, well, I was going to say, I would love the opportunity, any of the top politicians, to really could you imagine how gratifying that would be? To be face to face with some of these morons and have the ability in a debate situation where you can force them to address certain topics. Holy shit. That'd be like a wet dream. I mean, it wouldn't be so much with Biden because he'd just babble incoherently regardless of what you said, asked, or done. The videos of him from his town hall the other night, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on there, but that's getting frightening. But anyway, whoever it is, it would be so much fun. Chrome says, well, Japanese company, Sony isn't really a Japanese company anymore. Their head office is in California. They've shut down their major Japanese development studio. Right. But if you look at how they go about things, Chrome, it's all with that whole Japanese element that they've always had involved. And so that's why I'm saying it's not surprising that they would be the ones coming down on it, because all the Japanese companies do that. Kaiser says Frieza was less tyrannical. At least he had the decency to eliminate his subjects. It's the ultimate kindness. Yeah, it's actually, you're right. It's a significant improvement over this policy of just slowly beating people to death. Hi, Morgan. That's what I heard, HD. Sony even strikes things they don't have rights on. They're just greedy. Yeah, it's and that's what we see with the anime companies as well. They will go after any, and when they discover, because that's what happened with us, that's why we had to move everything over to our Patreon, to the Goosh, all the anime stuff. Once YouTube gave them that, because when they had to file copyright strikes, it was annoying, but I would win, and we'd get the stuff put back. And so, because they couldn't win that way, YouTube says, well, here's what we'll do. Rather than copyright, we'll just have a block function. You can just say, okay, I want to block this, and then, because you're not saying it's a copyright strike, YouTube is then allowed to just not put the video back up regardless of what you say. So in other words, if I post something with anime content in it and the Japanese production company blocks it, when I file an appeal or a counter, like I would under if they had copyright struck it, it doesn't matter. Because all YouTube does is they go back to the original company and they go, nah, they said they still don't want you to have any of their content out there. So there's not even a reason for YouTube to have this copyright system, other than that they have to by law, because they've given the other companies carte blanche. Oh, you want to block it? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I know. Isn't it pesky that what the uploader was doing probably falls within fair use, so you couldn't get it taken down with a copyright strike, so with a copyright claim. So here we'll give you you just block it, same thing. Yeah, we're all good. High fives all around. Go fuck yourself, Google. Tengu says your brain has to be a permanent consolation prize from God if you put your head office in California. It's just, again, it's gotten beyond the pale here. It's gotten ridiculous. Jack Queen says, could you handle a debate stage? LOL, you'd end up wrestling some poor Democrat sodomizer. Yeah. And in fairness, Jack, it wouldn't be just Democrats. There's a lot of stupid Republicans out there, too. There's just so many of them. I would love, oh, man, I would love to have a go-round with a verbal jousting with. Yes, I wouldn't mind punching a lot of people too, but that's beside the point. HC says Sony even erased Magia Record gameplay videos. Wow. Sony has no rights on Touhou and removed their content. Yeah. Morgan says, do I need to kick Susan's ass? I can take her. I think you can, Morgan. I have no doubt you would whoop her ass. Lucas says, I forgot who it was, but someone put it best. You shouldn't have to get a bigger YouTuber on your side and cause a typhoon on Twitter to get YouTube's attention. That's 100% true. And that's exactly what's got to happen. Now, since I posted and tagged this whole thing, at Team YouTube on Twitter about what's going on, at Team YouTube has been, yes, they are currently, I'm just looking to see, they are currently active on Twitter, and they're not active anywhere near my tweet, nor will they be. Again, the one thing we've learned about YouTube, I've learned about YouTube, and I've told you guys this over and over, they do no wrong. As far as they're concerned, they're never wrong. It's always going to be your fault. It's just like we always said with the streams. If their server has an issue, fuck off, Train. If their server has an issue, and the stream starts to get choppy, gets lag, whatever, the prompt that comes up on my dashboard will throw the blame at us. And you guys have been here for those streams. I will go while I'm getting that prompt and do a speed test on my channel, and we're have upload speeds of over 24 kilobits per second. Come on. Let's see. Francis says, you on a debate stage makes me think of Vermin Supreme. Should Google that. It's very funny. Vermin Supreme. I think I've heard that before. I don't know why. Chrome says, I told you a long time ago, Biden is basically Captain Dementia. Most of his decisions are made by others, except for the more bullish moves. That's him wanting to be a strongman president. He isn't. Yeah, it's unfortunate, Chrome. That, like I say, that's not anything I take any delight in. But yeah, he's I just believe he's got something fairly serious going on. He gets so lost in conversation all the time. And again, we're not talking about a speech impediment. We're talking about a brain impediment where he just blanks out and he starts rambling literally very incoherently. And that's fucking concerning, you would think. Willie says, I'm late. What happened? I just posted a reaction, Willie, to Meat Canyon's latest video. And hold on a second, I'm just checking things as we go. Space Jam season. And okay, here's a notification we got. Oh no, it's just Mark. Space Jam season, and YouTube gave me a warning as a precursor to a strike for the community guidelines violation. Even though the original video is up, getting millions of hits, and there are a litany of reaction videos posted to it already. So we're trying to figure out why YouTube's algorithm is programmed with a basic hit list installed into it. Exactly. Lucas says, robots still can't tell a knock-knock joke. They shouldn't be handling something like copyright law. I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Chrome says Curtis would end up as the American version of Lord Buckethead or the Colonel Sanders-looking guy who runs the monster raving loony party. But would you go as Golden or as your old wrestling persona? Now, like I say, I would, Chrome, I would love to be on that stage legitimately. And I'd play it straight up. I would love to be on the stage with some of these morons that we have leading this country right now. It's crazy. So Mark says, they just like your face is too hot for YouTube. That's my point. Because if you're saying that, hey, convict, I like that. If you're saying that my posting of that reaction video is sexually provocative, and the other reaction videos to that particular video are not, this is the only thing that's different between my video and those. So it doesn't take a great leap of logic to understand that this is just too sexually provocative. Don't know that I can argue that point. HD says YouTube's algorithm is programmed by a gorilla. There's no other reason. It's that shit. Yeah, Connor says 3.9 million views for that video, and it was posted 4 days ago, right, Connor? Yeah, it was posted 4 days ago. 4 million views. It's fine, as it should be. I mean, it's a parody video, a comedy parody video, but us reacting to it is sexually provocative. Willie says, oh yeah, he says, I'm Stream Boss now, peasants. I didn't even see that. You just took over. I think it was BTG, wasn't it? You just bumped him. He's not even here to defend himself. Chrome says, on happier news, apparently we may see the first footage of the new Dragon Ball tomorrow during Comic-Con, so at least there's something happy coming up. Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be really cool. Vice Aureus says, YouTube is jealous of your nice bald head. I can't blame him for that one, I guess. Mistress says, did you hear what's happening with Blizzard? They're getting sued by the state of California. Really? And it's looking like they have plenty of reason to. Serious allegations that employees testifying to. Really? With the interactions I've had with Blizzard, I'm okay with that. I wouldn't mind seeing them get the shit kicked out of them. Rosa says, oh, Curtis, I forgot to mention I drove to San Antonio at like midnight, and I saw a man speeding past me at least twice my speed while I was driving at 60. The speed limit was 50. Yeah, Rosa. I don't know. You guys know I drove for a living for decades. And the roads are, well, it's because of the advent of digital technology, portable digital technology. But the roads are more dangerous now than they've ever been. That's what, when I was teaching Braxton to drive, I just kept, harping on him about that. You have to be aware of everybody else because they are not aware of you at all. It's getting scary out there. Nothing surprises me much anymore, Rosa. I mean, really bad. And again, I know it's not just me. It's not just me, old man, get off my lawn, get off my road, whatever the case may be. I did that as a career, and it's noticeable how much more dangerous drivers are nowadays. Nicholas White says they can't put in Pepe Le Pew in Space Jam 2, but they could put in that Droogs from a Clockwork Orange in that movie. Oh, really? From Clockwork? Oh, jeez. Because I'm not going to see the movie. Well, if our video was allowed to stay up, I talk about that in the intro, and I wonder if how much me ragging on LeBron James had anything to do with it too, because we know that LeBron James is a darling of all the politically correct companies. None of them would dare to ever say anything sideways about LeBron James, because he's seen, as this leader of a very politically correct movement. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. That's what it's been, Mister, over the years with Blizzard, is customer support, and the lack of customer support, getting our account hacked, and I don't remember all the specific details. It was a while ago, but the way it all transpired, it almost had to be from somebody inside Blizzard, and they wouldn't. It was just a nightmare. Chrome says Sony is still copyrighting Nintendo music to this day. If Sony ever made CDs for a client, they throw it in their copyright archive to strike. It's kind of illegal, but they openly do it. It's the large corporations have carte blanche. Like I say, Google feels omnipotent, and the reason they feel omnipotent is because they're allowed to be. Again, we've got pussies in government. None of them are going to seriously take on any major corporation. Name a prominent national politician that isn't hugely indebted to major corporations. There isn't one. You don't get there without it. And the sad thing is, now current times are the first time in history that you could. I mean, anything can become a movement now because of the internet. You could win a national election based just on your internet profile and your internet pull. But it's easier once you start getting a little bit of pull, when, say somebody starts getting noticed, say it is on the internet, for their political views, and they're seen as a viable candidate upcoming. Well, as soon as they get to that level, that the pharmaceutical companies, movie companies, everybody will be buddying up to you a little bit. Energy companies say, hey, we're allowed to donate to your campaign, and we like what you've been saying, and hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we don't expect anything in return for this 10 million. And that's how it happens every single time. I missed Bernie's super chat, or Barry's super chat. Bernie's. Sorry, Barry's. I just changed your name to Bernie's. Thank you, Willie. I apologize for making you do that for me to see it. Where's Barry's super chat? Willie? There's Barry's. God damn it. Sorry about that, Barry's. Next post is Susan Shows. Also, Stream Boss Me Baby. And Willie still got it. Barry says, I don't think the SS would let you near Biden for a debate town hall after you said you'd body slam him through a plastic table and beat him to a pulp. They see everything, but I didn't see nothing. I don't remember saying that. Did I say it? I'm not saying I didn't. I don't remember saying that, but sure. Oh, I would. Actually, Biden wouldn't even be one of the more fun ones to debate, because I think with his mind being the level of pudding that it is right now, it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. I don't think it wouldn't be fun. And as far as the other side, Trump would be easy to demolish in a debate. Debating Trump would be like debating a puerile fifth grader, because it's just going to be all insult comments and stuff. And if you can match him at the insult retort at the same time, driving home the fact of how entirely ineffective he is policy-wise, you could kick his ass easy. Garrett says, I have no issues with minorities. I've never made an enemy out of one personally, but a decade ago there were none of these issues that they claim. I can't escape from these guys for a single day. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean, Garrett. What type of issues we're talking about specifically? I don't know what you mean. Mr. says, conspiracy theory, Biden is head of Blizzard customer support. Chrome says, here's a quick tweet about the Blizzard situation. Read the third picture and you'll realize just how bad it is. Okay, hold on. Let me go to Chrome's link real quick, guys. Third picture. All right, let me. Few employees are subject to constant sexual harassment, unequal pay, and retaliation. Oof. Being held back from promotion, become pregnant. Employees or supervisors would hit on them, make derogatory comments about rape, and otherwise engage in demeaning behavior. Yikes! Sue also points to a female Activision employee who took her own life while on a company trip with her male supervisor. The employee had been subjected to intense sexual harassment prior to her death, including having nude photos passed around at a company holiday party. The complaint. What the fuck, Blizzard? Holy shit! Yeah, I'd say Chrome. I'd say Chrome's accurate. They could be in a whole shit ton of trouble. Blizzard, we'll probably just scroll up and click on Chrome's link. You'll see. Holy fuck! Wow. And I thought Blizzard was just the drizzling shits because their tech support sucked ass. There's a lot more going on than just that. Oof. Let's see. Jack says, beating Bernie or Biden would be just upsetting and easy. I'd kick Trump's ass and feel something. Is kicking Obama's ass a hate crime? I think Obama would be, of the recent politicians, prominent politicians, he would be, from what I've seen, because I'm kind of a debate nerd anyway, he would be the toughest in a debate. He was good. Obama was a very good debater. And but the others, Hillary, Trump, as you said, Bernie, Biden, they were all terrible, awful. Even Kamala. It's not that I don't think she's bright. It's that she doesn't know how to conduct herself, and she's really easy to frazzle, frustrate, and get angry. Yeah, Zerzul says, yeah, that entire story is really messed up. I guess. I had no idea it went into those areas. I mean, where women were actually being sexually harassed and everything there. I had no idea. Holy shit. I didn't hear about this. Sticky Sauce says, Blizzard lost it a few months ago when they called any who made parody vids on their stuff assholes because they claim their games are for a deeper good. Talk about some feelings of omnipotence. Give it a break, Blizzard. Nothing you're doing is for a greater good. It's for the almighty dollar. Holy shit. Lovely Toaster says, I've been told I'm a sort of master debater. I get you. I have two, Toaster. Zerzul says, also just saw your JoJo's reaction to the poker duel with Darby. Loved your reaction, especially as a poker fan, see JoJo bluff his win. JoJo's so great. That's such a phenomenal series. Man, the stuff we watched recently, even here at the Goosh, at the Patreon, has been so good. I just finished up, it hasn't posted yet, but I just finished up Invincible. Invincible is amazing. I said it at the end of the video. It's tough because I don't like to have previews of what's coming when I'm watching something. Because if it weren't for that fact, I'd be buying the comics. That was really, really good. And I'm surprised by Monster as well. Monster's fascinating. What a well-written show. God damn it. I mean, it's just one intense scene after another, and each and every one of them just really pulls you right in. Mister says, oh yeah, they also called one of the biggest WoW streamers, Asmongold, I think I've heard that name, an asshole publicly. Well, it was one employee, the lead product manager. Good managing. Oh, good. Knowing all this, especially, and combine that with the issues I've had with them in the past, good for them. I like to see them take a beating. Excuse me. Rosa said, Obama would be difficult to beat in a debate, but if you can manage to make the debate about war crimes, then Obama is running on thin ice. Yeah, and again, that's, you guys know, I'm perfectly upfront with you guys about my failings, and there's a lot of them. I think the secret to life is knowing what you're good at, knowing what you're bad at. It makes life a lot more pleasant and a lot less embarrassing. Debating is something I'm pretty good at. So to debate someone like Obama wouldn't scare me. I think he's a very competent debater, But a debate ultimately comes down to your particular stances and how well you can back them up with facts. And because I just feel like the areas in which Obama and I differ, I think I have the stronger factual basis. That's why I would feel confidence. Chrome says, "Oh, that's where I disagree with you. Mock him enough to get rid of his teleprompter, and Obama will fold into an void." You may be right, Chrome, but I can't agree with that. I think he seems to be pretty sharp on his feet. I really think he is. It's unfortunate when you think about our politicians, and again, we're talking national level politicians. The majority of them are horrific public speakers. And as you alluded to, the majority of them are really bad when they go off script. I mean, you have to say that about Trump, too. And he rarely would stick with a teleprompter, and that's what led... If he had used a teleprompter, he might have won that election. He might still be president, put it that way. Because it's the things he would say when he went off script or off the cuff that ended up being sometimes monumentally stupid, and in the end ended up screwing him. Pretty much, Mark. He says, "Are you saying you're a master debater?" And you guys all kind of suspected that anyway. Sticky Sauce says, another Blizz comment was, when fans complained on content, they said, "You think you want it, but you don't." It sounds like Blizzard was run by a drunken frat party, a drunken frat house, is what it sounds like. Zurzul says, "To me, at least, Obama seems genuinely educated." Yeah. Agreed. Again, I don't agree with Obama on a lot of policy, but as a person, I have nothing but respect for him. You know who a lot of people don't realize it, is actually genius level IQ is Bill Clinton. A lot of people don't realize that Bill is actually very smart. Now, just because you got a genius level IQ and are academically brilliant doesn't mean you have common sense, but I don't think Bill suffers too much in that regard. But it was surprising to me when I learned it. And I think it still surprised a lot of people that Bill Clinton is as intelligent as he is. His wife, not so much. Mr. says, "Hard to think Biden without laptop, hard to think Hillary without emails." True on both cases. Nicholas says, "I love it when people call Republicans bigots, even though the people who formed the KKK were Democrats." Well, there are certain... Now we know, Nicholas, there are certain terms that are thrown around that have lost all their meaning because people devalue them by misusing them, like racist and fascist and bigots, as you said, because now those have become catchphrases, or what those phrases actually mean now is you disagree with me and nothing more. Yeah, HD says politics these days is only about getting money blown up the ass by big companies. Pretty much. Yep. To make it on the national stage, yeah, you're right. Surzul says, "My pop was stationed in Japan as a Marine during Bill's administration and talked about how poor the training quality went after his cuts to the military budget. Training went right down the drain." I believe that, Surzul. Now, again, me propping up Bill Clinton for his intelligence aside, that doesn't mean I agreed with him policy-wise. I'm just saying it always struck me as surprising that he is actually a legit genius. Yeah, Belinda, I had a blunt in my mouth, but I don't inhale. Again, that's what's so important to delineate here, is because somebody is academically brilliant doesn't mean they make good life decisions and doesn't mean they have any modicum of common sense. Sticky Sauce says, "The term racist has been so misused that the actual racists no longer give a crap." True. So SJWs have made people more openly hateful. I agree. You demean, and when you constantly want to compare anybody who has a different thought process than you, when you want to compare them to Hitler, which goes on all the time, I mean, that's just cheapening the plight of well over 6 million people that Hitler had murdered. Because no, there is, in America, there is no current Hitler. Sorry, doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, and both sides want to throw that word at the other depending on what they've done recently. There is nobody that is a Hitler. But take a look on social media and see how often that thought gets challenged. Kaiser says, plot twist, Biden is feigning senility so he can strike back at the Republicans. I mean, his name has Bide in it. Therefore, Biden is a Pokemon. I have no idea where this is going. It started strong, though, Kaiser. It started. I'll give you that. It was a good start. It ran out of gas, but it was a good start. Sticky Sauce says, ironically, calling people extreme things is like that is what Hitler did. Very true. Very true. You've got to paint your enemies as the ultimate evil. True. Oh, there's plenty of Karl Marx wannabes, Tengu. Yeah. And they're right up front about it. And again, if they associate with the proper people, everybody's afraid to even call them out on it because, well, the Twitter mob might come after me. All right. Well, I'm going to have to wrap up soon. I want to see if there's, no, nothing. I want to see if there's any resolution here before, because I want to share it with you guys if there is. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube isn't in any hurry to get to my counterclaim or my appeal. Let's see. I'm just checking everything before I go. But anyway, those of you that do want to see the video and are with us over at the Goosh, I posted it over there so at least you can see it. Hopefully my appeal goes through and then the rest of you can see it too. What do you think of the president of Mexico? Hashtag he sucks. I don't want to comment too much, Hongzhou, just because I don't know a lot. I would just the headlines I picked up here or there, and it's something I should know more about. My early impression would agree with your hashtag, but I don't want to say too much because, again, I don't, like I alluded to earlier, the one way to really make yourself look stupid is to try and talk about things about which you don't have sufficient knowledge, and I just don't. No, YouTube doesn't care about appeals. No, they don't, Sticky Sauce. That's just another annoyance they have to put up with. Chrome says, Blizzard are the company who said, don't you guys have phones when people were mad about the new Diablo game being a phone game? Wow. Also, they simp for the CCP with Overwatch banning people. Wow. See, I knew that Blizzard was kind of a shits company. I didn't have any idea about all this. Holy shit. Well, we are Sticky Sauce. He says you should honestly think of moving stuff to Goosh, YouTuber crap. Yeah, more and more stuff will be going over to the Goosh. Our live streams will stay here, or at least some not necessarily all of them, but live streams will stay here until YouTube kicks us out because we're gonna start doing a lot more topical conversations. Susan Shakespeare says yes. Don't you all have phones? I know, Big Green. That's fucked up. Being intentionally condescending and douchey to your entire fan base. Good. Maybe it's coming around for them. I agree, Jack. Says talking and acting on no information is actually the definition of ignorance. I agree 100%. And that's the failing of a lot of our national politicians in a nutshell, is everybody's afraid to say, I don't know. It doesn't matter who you are. You can't know everything. And so when you get asked a question, and who was always great for this, it was AOC. She would always try, and again, all right, I don't agree with her politically at all, but she was young, got thrown into this when really she wasn't prepared for it. But early on, they would ask her about any one of a number of things, and you could tell from the vacant look in her eyes, she had no idea what they were talking about, but she would try and answer anyway. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I don't really know. I don't want to give you an answer that comes from an area of misinformation or low information. So let me get back to you. It's the simplest thing in the world to say. It beats just continuing to spew out a bunch of ridiculous bullshit that's immediately going to be proven false. Chrome says, didn't you hear about when people hired a van mocking China outside Blizzard's convention like 2 years ago while people wore Winnie the Pooh shirts? I remember that now you say it. I think they even banned Winnie the Pooh shirt. I do remember that now that you say it. I remember the Winnie the Pooh thing, Chrome. Yeah, I do remember that. I wouldn't have if you hadn't brought it up. YouTube sucks like a hall filled with prostitutes, HD says. I miss Papa Franco too, Francis. I definitely do. All right, guys. Well, I do have to go. Thank you for hanging out with me in this. I'll keep you guys posted either here in the community tab, wherever, on what goes on with this. But again, it's become clear that for whatever reason, YouTube definitely has a hit list. And that hit list is fed to their algorithm. Because how can there be any other possible explanation for this? So, so fuck YouTube. This is basically all I can say. But there is sticky stuff of brewing. Ooh, and tomorrow is Free for All Friday. So this sticky stuff is very hopeful, and it's all charged up. This is community guidelines strike sticky stuff. So it's going to be kind of nasty, and it's, in YouTube's terms, very sexually suggestive. So get ready for this. Get out of the way, Afro Mike. Here it comes. Pampu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. And all of it is intended for sexual gratification, just like YouTube said my videos are. Isn't that awesome? A little more. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and it's always insanely sexually gratifying. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.